So we go with the smart form, and the transaction code for the smart form is smart forms itself. The transaction code for the smart form is smart forms ending with S. So this is a part of your form only, SAP script, smart form, and the Adobe form. So Adobe form is advanced to smart form, and the smart form is advanced to SAP script. So SAP script is totally outdated. So in real time, we mostly work with the smart form and followed by the Adobe form. So it is a tool provided by the SAP to design the printable business document. It is a tool provided by the SAP to design the printable business document. Document like sales order acknowledgement form, maybe purchase order acknowledgement form, maybe invoice, or we can say billing, dunning layout, so on. So if you are running the business, as we discussed during this SAP script, if you are running any business, now if I go with a DMart, if you go with your nearby provisional shop, nowadays everyone is going to issuing the invoice or the billing. Most of the time, as a customer, we can come across with the billing or the invoice. Normally, if you go with the restaurant, once we have your party, finally they are come up with your billing. Now you need to verify, look at your bill, and you need to make a payment. That document which you are going to receive, if that document is going to be issued by the SAP system, then that document must be designed in SAP system only. It could be variety of form. If you go with any business process, at the end, we must issue the document. Issuing the document in the format of hard copy also, nothing but you can take a print or you can send via email, you can do the faxing. There are variety ways. But of course, we are going to issue the confirmation. Normally, if you place any order on the Amazon platform, now, suppose if I want to purchase anything, we are going to select the item, add to the cart, then we are going to proceed or check out. You need to make a payment. Immediately, you'll get the message, or you can get the email also. Thank you for the order. This is your order confirmation. Nothing but the acknowledgement. So sometimes we are going to give that confirmation via document also. Means we can give the printing. Even that email, the body which you're finding, that is one type of document only. But maybe that is not. But whenever we issue any document via SAP tool, then document we are going to design ourselves in SAP tool in the format of script. This is your smart form. In the future, you do have the Adobe form. These are the designing tool. The way you are going to design the screen as a part of model pool programming, same concept will be applicable over here. But if you look at SAP script, that is a client dependent. Only three things are client dependent in SAP. One is database table, nothing but the data. Whenever it comes to the data, then it's a part of client dependent. Table, match code, and the SAP script. So whereas smart form it is a client dependent, client independent. It is client independent. Smart form is an client independent. Means now, of course, when we go with the SAP script or the smart form, the interviewer will must ask you the question: why SAP script is a client dependent and why smart form is a client independent? So there is a reason during the SAP script. So whenever we design the SAP script layout, once after activation, that entire layout will be converted into text, and that will register in a database in the format of data, and data must be stored in a table only. So as per SAP rule, the data is a client dependent, so script will also become a client independent. Whereas during the SmartForm case, they will come to you, they will ask you why SmartForm is client independent. Why SmartForm is client independent. So before I answer these questions, let's see the flow, how the SmartForm is going to be work. Okay. So we are going to design the SmartForm with the help of T code SmartForm itself. And whenever we design the SmartForm, so here, so we are going to design the SmartForm. So I can say layout using the transaction code SmartForm itself. All right. So we are going to design the SmartForm using the transaction code SmartForm itself. Once your SmartForm is designed and it is get activated, once your SmartForm has been designed and it is get activated, so here I can say when it is designed and it is get activated. Of course, once after design, you are going to activate this one. Now, once after activation, what is going to be happen in the background? I can say once it is get activated, what is going to be happen in the background? The way the SAP script is going to convert the entire layout into text, whereas the SmartForm is going to generate the standalone function model, which contains source code of the layout. During the SAP script, once the SAP script get activated, what is going to be happen? The entire layout is converting into text. Whereas SmartForm, the entire layout is going to be converted into function model, and that function model contains the source code. Right? So whenever we activated the SmartForm is going to generate the function model, and that function model contains the entire source code of in your layout. Means that layout will be converted into code, source code. During the BDC case, we have seen that entire mapping logic table was converting into program in the format of subroutine. Means system is itself generating into program. Same way, whenever or once we activated the SmartForm will generate the function model automatically. You have nothing to do with this. You can just click on activate. Immediately the function model is going to be generated. But here I have used one of the word called standalone. Now, what is the meaning of this standalone? I will come to this point later. But whenever we activate the SMARTFORM is going to generate the function model. And what that function model contains, whatever the layout you have designed, that layout will be converted into source code. Now what you need to do, you need to issue the form. Now how to issue the form? Now you are going to write a application program. You are going to write the application program in SC38, and that program we can call it as a driver program. So this is a part of your application program, and that we are going to write in SC38. That is a part of your ABAP editor. During the model pool programming case, to control the model pool screen, we are going to write the logic separate in SC38. That program we are going to call it as a dialog program or model pool program. Similarly, once you once you design the SAP script, to control the SAP script, whatever the program you are writing, that program we are going to call it as a print program. Similarly, whenever you design the SMARTFORM, to control the SMARTFORM, whatever the logic we supposed to write, that logic we will going to write in SC38, and that program we can call it as a driver program. So what this program is going to do, he's going to extract the data from the database. We are going to extract the data dynamically from the database. So this is your database. Now it's going to extract the data from the database. And that data, we need to pass it to the SMARTFORM layout. That data, we need to pass to the SMARTFORM layout. How we are going to pass it? By calling the function model generated by the SMARTFORM. The function model which has generated by the SMARTFORM, this function model we are going to call in our program. This function model we are going to, now you just compare it with the SAP script. During the SAP script, how we are going to design? The layout is in SC71, and the dynamic logic, the value which you wanted to print on SAP script, the layout, that logic you are going to write in SC38. We are going to extract the data from the database. We are in the format of work area internal table. We are storing the data, and that data need to be bring it to the layout SAP script. How we are taking? By calling the three function model in sequence: open form, write form, and the close form. Similarly, now what we need to do when we talk about the layout, see, even during the SAP script, SMARTFORM or model pool programming, the concept will be remain same. Now, whenever you go with any form, any layout, any screen, there will be a label part, and in front of that, you will be having the value, right? Suppose I want to print the name, and here the name will be the John. So this will be the part of your label, right? And this will be the part of your value. So whenever you design the layout, some value will be hard coded, and some value need to be bring dynamically from the database, right? Now in front of this name, I want to print the John, whatever the name, but that name you need to bring it from the database based on certain condition. Now how you are going to bring it? So for that, you are going to write the logic in SC38. You are going to fetch the data. Now this extracted data need to be print in a form. Now we are not directly printing in a form. Instead, we are passing that input via function model. Whenever at the basic definition of function model contains the parameters. And based on that input, we are going to perform the action and we are going to return the results. Now, whatever the information which you want to pass it to the form, that information we are going to pass it via function model parameter. Of course, that function model contains the parameter. And via that function model, we are going to pass the input, and ultimately the data is going to your layout. Now, once we receive the data, that form need to be issued, right? We are going to issue the form. That can be your printer. That can be your web, nothing but you are going to send the email. Maybe you are going to send the fax. Nothing but we are going to issue the form. During the SAP script, we are going to call the open form, write form, close form in a sequence. But instead here, whatever the smart form is going to activated, and for that, it's going to generate the function model, and that function model you need to call in your driver program. Why we are calling? Because in that smart form, some text are constant and some text need to be printed dynamically after extracting from the database. So of course that logic we are going to write in driver program. We are going to extract the data. Now whatever the value which you want to print in a smart form, so we need to call that FM, because FM is a part of that smart form only. Means whatever the layout you have created, that layout has been generated in the format of FM. In short, you are calling the smart form itself. So via that function model parameter, we are going to pass the input, and ultimately that value is going to be placed in your layout. And finally, you are going to issue the layout. Now I will come back to this question, why SmartForm is client independent. So only three things are client dependent in SAP. One, match code, table, and the SAP script. Rest are client independent. So whenever we activate the SmartForm, the SmartForm will generate the standalone function model, which contains the source code of an layout. It means entire SmartForm will be converted into source code. So here in bracket I can say the entire layout will be converted into source code in the form of FM. Now, as per SAP, function model is client independent. So, SmartForm is also client independent. Whenever we generate a SmartForm is going to be like converting into FM. Now, the major role is a part of FM. So, as per SAP, FM is a client independent. So, SmartForm will also be considered as client independent. Now, here I have highlighted the word called, it is a standalone. Now, what is the meaning of this standalone? Why we are not calling simply a function model? Why I'm calling it as a standalone? We do have the 3-server system landscape. We are going to develop the object in development server. Once the development has been finished, we are moving it to the quality, and from there we are going to deploy it in production server. So very first you are going to do the development in development server. After that, The testing will be done in the next server, and after that we are going to deploy in a production server. Now initially where you are going to develop the smart form? Of course in the development server. Here we are going to develop the smart form. So whenever this smart form get activated, it will generate a function model. Let's assume this function model has generated in the name of ABC01. Let's consider. Of course, that is a SAP's internal pattern. So the name will be proposed by the system automatically. You have nothing to worry. System will generate the function model, the naming pattern as per the SAP standard. You have nothing to worry. Just we are going to assume. Let's assume the smart form has generated the function model in the name of ABC01. Now you should not call this function. Of course, what we discussed here, whatever the function model has generated by the smart form, that function model we need to call here. That FM need to be called here. And via that FM only, we are going to pass the dynamic value which you wanted to print in a layout. Now, what I am suggesting, you should not call the function model generated by the smart form. Means you should not call in a same name the name which he has generated. Then how to achieve this job? But before that, we are discussing about the standalone. It means whenever we activate the smart form in any of the system, now currently we are in the development, we are going to activate in development. So he is generating in the name of ABC01. That's fine. Now once after unit testing, we are moving the developed object to quality server. Now in the quality server, what system will do? For the same smart form, it will generate the function model with the different name. Same smart form, but it will generate the function model with a different name. Now in the development it was ABC01, and in the QA it has become DEF01. Again when we move it to the production, there it will again generate with a different name. So SmartForm function model name will change dynamically from server to server. The SmartForm name will be remain same. The function model which he is generating, that name will be changed dynamically from server to server, because each server will be having their own naming standard. So that's the reason whenever it reach to the respective server, there it will generate the function model with a different name. SmartForm name will be remain same, but the function model will be generated separately. Now the problem is that suppose in the development system, now you need to write the code in SA38. In that SA38, you are calling this FM ABC in the name of directly ABC01. Now in the development system, it will work fine. But when you reach to the quality, here it has generated the different name. And if you are trying to call with the ABC01, then system will not find this ABC01 as a function model. Then you may get the dump here. So that's the reason we never hard code the function model. Means we never call as it is the function model which is generated by the SmartForm in program. Instead, we will go with a different way. How? So that is the meaning of standalone. Means it will change dynamically from server to server. So here I will come up with a note. We never hard code the function model name generated by SmartForm, because it will generate dynamically from server to server. I can say generate, or you can say change. In the development, it will generate with the name ABC01. It can be anything. But if you reach it to the quality, it will generate with a different name. Again, to the production, it will generate with a different name. So if you hard code the name, it means whatever the function it is generating, if you call as it is with the same name, then you may come across with a dump in the next server. Not in the same server, but definitely in the next server. Then now, does it mean if you go to the quality, check it over there in what name it has generated, then do the code change? Definitely not possible, because quality server and the production server is non-editing. You cannot do any code change over there. Then what is the solution for this? So we use SSF underscore function underscore module underscore name to check or find the dynamically generated function model by SMARTFORM. So what we do, instead of hard coding the function model which is generated by the SMARTFORM, before that we use this FM provided by the SAP. This is the standard function model given by the SAP. SSF underscore function model name. Now what it will do, you need to pass your SMARTFORM name. Whatever the SMARTFORM you have created, just pass the name of your SMARTFORM. So what it will do, it will return the function model generated by the SMARTFORM. And then we are going to call it. Then call the dynamically generated FM. Okay. So once I enter into the SMARTFORM T code, we can find three component. I can say sub-object, or you can say the component of SMARTFORM. Sub-object or component of SMARTFORM. So there are three, one with form, second with the style, and the third one with the text model. So these are the three component or the sub object of SMARTFORM: form, style, and the text model. Now from here, we will start differentiating between the SAP script and the SMARTFORM. Why SAP script got outdated? The very first point, in the script, nothing is reusable. Neither page, neither window, neither paragraph format, nor character format. It means whatever the component you are designing within the SAP script, that will be used within the script only. Now, suppose you do have script one, in that you have created one of the window with some set of information. Now, the same information I want to use in another script in a different window. It is not possible. Nothing is reusable. Suppose you have created some set of paragraph format or character format in script one. Now, the same paragraph format, character format I want in a script two designing. Not possible. Nothing is reusable. In the SAP script, nothing is reusable. Whereas in the SMARTFORM, every component is reusable. Either window, within the window, whatever the information you are maintaining, that will be reusable. Similarly, whatever the paragraph format, whatever the character format you are creating, even that will also be reused. Suppose in SMARTFORM 1, you have designed some set of paragraph format, character format. The same paragraph format, character format, you no need to design again. That will be used in a second SMARTFORM also. Similarly, whatever the window you are designing, in that whatever the information you are maintaining, if the same information want to be reused in another form, you can easily reuse. No need to create again and again. So every component of SMARTFORM will be reusable. The second point, in the SAP script, everything is in a black and white text. Either text, window, page, everything black and white, except logo. Leave about the logo. I'm talking about window, page, and the text. Whereas in SMARTFORM, everything is colorful. Either page, either window, or maybe text. So what SAP SMARTFORM has done, instead of having everything within the script, he has segregated the things. Means instead of creating the paragraph format, character format within the form, So first here I will go with the style text model, then we will come back to the text model. So here I'm going with the style. So with this, we are going to create the paragraph format and the character format. It will be used to create paragraph and the character format. So this form option will be used to design the layout, design the smart form. In that you do have the page, window, there are many components. We will discuss it now. But what SAP has done, this paragraph character option, he has taken outside the form in the format of style. It means the same style. In the format of style, you are creating the paragraph format, character format. The same style will be reused in the different forms. So the main advantage is reusability. The same paragraph and the character will be reused in multiple smart form, or I can say different smart form. The same paragraph and the character format will be used in a different smart form. So you can create the smart style by using the smart forms T code also. Otherwise, SAP has provided the separate T code for this. T code is smart styles. See, with the help of style, you are going to create the paragraph format and the character format. Am I right? Paragraph and the character format. So this paragraph format and the character format you can create by coming up with this smart forms T code, go with the style and create it. Or else you can run the separate T code and you can create it. Ultimately, the result will be the remain same. Either run the separate T code or within the smart form also you can achieve this one. Next comes with text model. I told you that everything is reusable. So with the help of text model, we are going to design the window, or we are going to maintain the block of information to the window. It will be used to maintain the block of information for the window. Again, the main advantage is reusability. The same text or information will be reused in different or multiple form. Now, if you think any of the information of that form is being reused in multiple, in that situation, that information you should maintain in the format of text model. So these are the two things. Now, ultimately or finally, we come to the form. So we do have the different component of forms. I will come to the form. We do have the different component of form. So very first, global setting. In the global setting, we do have form attribute. In the SAP script, we do have the header, under the header, administrative data and the basic setting, then page window, paragraph format, character format, and the documentation. But here we do have the two major global setting and the page and the window. Under global setting, you do have the form attribute. So it is similar to your header information of your recipe script. In the header, we are going to maintain the administrative data and the basic. And what we are going to maintain in the administrative data, we were maintaining client number, username, created on, time, date, by, created by user, language, translation. Under the basic setting, what we were maintaining, default paragraph, first page, and the page format and the page orientation. Now, all this information we are going to maintain by using this form attribute only. So, SmartForm it is not a client dependent. So, your client number is not so mandatory. So, here we are going to maintain the very first smart style. Whatever the smart style, nothing but whatever the paragraph format and the character format you have created in the format of smart style, that smart style name you need to provide over here. Okay, then you are going to maintain the package option, then created on, by, and the time. Then comes with your page format and the page orientation. Then comes with your language, translation. See, only page format comes under this. Orientation comes under the different area. I will show you. So here we don't have the client number concept. It is not a client dependent. So then comes with form interface. Form interface. As I discussed, whenever we activate the SmartForm is going to generate the function model. And what is the basic definition of function model? So function model is a piece of code which perform the action based on the given parameter. Now, how we are going to pass the parameter and how we are going to receive the result from that function model? By using some predefined signature like import, export, tables, and the changing. Now you can ask me who is going to decide and how it is going to be decided, what should be the importing parameter of this function model, what should be the exporting, what should be the tables and the changing. That you can decide by using this form interface. Now, what should be the import, export tables and the changing parameter of that function model which is generated by the SmartForm, that you can decide here. So here it will be used to register or set the function model interface. Like import, export, tables, not changing, but you do have the exception. Parameters. And after that, suppose you have said define the parameters, register, or you can say define. Both is fine. Define also. Right? Now, after that, what you are going to do? You are going to call your function model in driver program. Now, whatever the dynamic data you have extracted from the database, that data, if you want to pass to the form layout, that data must be passed via function model interface parameter, function model parameter. And whenever you pass that function model interface, the data comes here. So I can say it will import the data. Exported by driver program. That is what we are defining the parameter, right? Whatever the parameter you define, that that data is being passed from the driver program, and that data comes to your form layout under the form interface. And thereafter comes with the global definition. Within the smart form, you can define the different variable that is a part of global data. I can say it will be used to define global data. Nothing but if you want to define any variable or work area or internal table, sometimes there might be a requirement if you want to define any variable work area and the internal table within the smart form, so then you can define under the global definition. Not only this, you can define the structures as well, structure or table types. You can define the field symbol as well. You can define the initialization code. You do have one of the event called initialization. Whatever the things you are going to achieve by using the initialization, the same thing if you want to achieve in the form case, that you need to write under the initialization. And then comes with form routine. So with this, we are going to write the source code. That's a part of external subroutine. And currency conversion. So SmartForm is advanced and very feasible. In the SAP script, it is not, suppose if you want to manage any logic, suppose if I want to write some source code within the script and if I want to achieve on fly something, then it is not possible. The code, everything need to be handled in the print program only. But in the SmartForm, you do have the feasibility. Instead of writing everything in the driver program, you can write some set of source code within the SmartForm also. Under this, either maybe initialization, or maybe you can create your own external subroutine, or maybe you can write under the, yes, in these two only, initialization and the form routine. So if you want to do any currency conversion, that you can do. If you want to define any field symbol, you can do. If you want to define any structure, table types, that you can do, so on. Right now, if you want to see, you can go with the smart forms. So transaction code is smart forms itself. When I come to this, you do have three options: text, style, form. Style, text model, and the form. Now, if I go with the form, suppose, see, under global setting, you do have form attribute, form interface, global definition. Under form attribute, we are going to define the created by, date, time, package, language, translation, change by, date, time. Under the output option, we are going to maintain the style. And this is your page format. Orientation will not come under this. After this, under the form interface, you are going to define the import, export tables and the exception. Now, whatever the function rule is being generated by the smart form, what should be the parameter for that? If you need any custom, some other set of standard parameters are there, but if you want, you can define your own custom parameter. Now, suppose some data which I want to bring from the driver program to smart form, how you are going to bring it? So you need to define the parameter. So via that parameter, you need to take it here. So not everything need to be right within the driver program. Some logic you can achieve in the SmartForm area also. So for that, you need to go with the global definition. You do have the global data where you can define all variables like variable, work area, internal table, all data objects I can say. Then with the help of types, you can define the structure and the table types. With the help of field symbol, you can define any field symbol which need. With the initialization, you can write the source code, which the same initialization event which is have in the ABAP report. What we are going to achieve by using the initialization event to set the default values and to provide the label for the any selection screen input field, block, or the radio button. So in majorly, the initialization will be triggered before display or selection screen. And if you want to achieve something, that logic you can write over here. Then if you want to write anything in the format of, like, you can create the external subroutine and you can write the code. And this is currency and quantity field. See, this is a part of source code area. You can write the code like types begin of ty something. This is your field symbol, initialization, where you can write the code, right? Then form routines, again you can create the external subroutine, form and form, you can write the code. Then currency. Next is the page and the window. The second one is page and the window. Page. Under the page and the window, we do have the page option. So page, it is a collection of, or I can say SMARTFORM is a collection of page and the page is a collection of window. SMARTFORM is a collection of pages and each page is a collection of window. And window is a block of information to be displayed on a page that we have already know, that we will see again. Next. So system by default, it will create the first page for you in the name of percentage page one. System by default, it will create the page in the name of percentage page one. Now if you want, you can rename it, but by default system will create. You can see here, by default system has created the page for you, percentage page one. Now if you want, you can rename it. Next comes with window. So the block of information, now whatever the information, whatever the text which you want to maintain in a page, that information will be maintained by using the window. Window is a block of information for the page. So whatever the block of information which you wanted to print in a page, that information will be maintained by a window. And here we do have the types of window again. Now I am just discussing with you the third type, the third difference between the script and the SMARTFORM. Already we do discussed. Now the third difference is what? We do have the four different of types of windows in the script. What are those? Main window, constant window, variable window, and the graphics. So here we do have four different, like main window. Main is the same, like it will be expandable based on the data. Means the size of this window, like what is the meaning of window? Whatever the information, whatever the text which you want to print or maintain in a page, that information we maintain via window. Why we are maintaining via window? Because window will make you flexible, feasible to place your information any corner of your page. Suppose this is your page. Now suppose some text I want to print here, some text I want to print here, some text I want to print here. How we are going to manage? So you can maintain this information in the format of window, and the window is very feasible to place it in any part of your page. That is the reason. Now, main window is what? Suppose if I say the size of this window is something like this, and in this, just I'm expecting 2 row can be fit. But sometimes you might be having the 3 row, 10 row, 15 row, then automatically the size of window will be expanded. So that is your main window. It is something like elastic part, like elastic component we can say, right? It can be expandable the way you're stretching. Same way. Some informations are very dynamic. Suppose if you go with the DMart. Now, if you look at the billing system of that DMart, the document of the DMart, header and the footer will be remain same, and that is a constant for each customer. But height of your bill will be depends the number of line item you are purchasing. Some customer can purchase 5 items, some customer can purchase 10 items, some can purchase 20, 50, 100, never know. So based on item, your print bill size is going to be increases automatically, and that is a part of your main window. That can be expandable based on your data. So second comes with secondary. The height and width of window will be fixed. Height and the width of the window will be fixed. It cannot be expandable. Whatever the size you have decided, so suppose I decided 3 as my width and the 5 as my height. Your data need to be fit within this only. It cannot be increased. That is a secondary. Whereas if you look at the script, what was the type of window? Variable. Then comes with constant. But here we do have the variable and the constant. We do have the main, secondary. Then comes with the copy window. It will be used to generate the multiple page format. And this is the major advantage of your SmartForm. Now SAP script, SmartForm, and the Adobe form. Script is totally outdated, just leave it. Now you can compare the form and the SmartForm. Still 90% of industries are using the SmartForm. 10% are sticking to the Adobe form because it is a newly, now people are like slowly starting migrating towards the Adobe form. But still SmartForm is having their own set of features. Adobe is having their own set of features. So they are going in parallel. But still SmartForm is having one side scope ahead because of this copy window. Now what is the meaning of multiple page format? Now, in your engineering academy year, you might be have filled the examination form for every semester ending. You know, their form contains 3 pages. One is candidate copy, one is college copy, one is university copy, right? Maybe you have filled some challan, and of course, your challan need to be filled in the banking system. And again, that challan contains 3. One is bank copy, customer copy, and that respective. Suppose you are filling the challan to RTO office. Some earlier, we need to go to the bank and we need to fill the challan. Maybe suppose you are requesting something from the university and you need to pay the amount, something like DD we can say. So for that, we need to fill the challan. Multiple copy. Some that copy need to be distributed among the multiple. One is go to the customer, one is to go to the bank, and one is go to the university or the respective department. So that multiple page format is possible with this copy window. And finally, the next type of window is final window. Final means it will trigger at very last, or I can say lastly. It is something like at last. Some information you need to print it very last at the end of everything. So such information you can maintain by using final, so it will be triggered very lastly. So this is the third difference between the SAP script and the SmartForm. SAP script will be having the 4 different type of window called main, variable, constant, and graphics. So here we do have 4 different: main, secondary, copy, and the final. In the SAP script, for the window, whatever the information or the text which you are maintaining, how we are maintaining? By using text element /e. So here we are going to maintain the text by using the text itself, and this is a component. Window is a component, even text is also a component. It will be used to maintain the text or information for the window. So whatever the window you are creating for the window, whatever the text which you maintain or you want to maintain, that will be maintained by using the text. Now during the SAP script, how did we maintain the image or the logo graphics? We have used one command called /:bitmap, the image name, then comes with your object, then ID, graphics, type, bitmap, and the color be call. Like if I want to revisit that page,
This conference will now be recorded.
so here we can see we have used the syntax bitmap, the logo name, object, graphics, ID, bmap, type, equal. So there we have used the syntax during the script case, but in the SMARTFORM case, SAP has provided the separate component for that graphics. So this is a component. So graphics was the part of window in the SAP script. So graphics is a part of component, not the type of window, part of component. It will be used to maintain or add the logo for window. In a window, if you want to maintain the text, go with the text component. If you want to maintain any image, then you go with the graphics component. Similarly, how did we maintain the address in SAP script? We have used this command address, address number, and address. So for everything, the extra things which we want to achieve during the SAP script case, we need to write the extra part of code. But here SAP has done some feasible for you. Now, if you want to maintain the address, then you can go with the address component. It will be used to maintain the address for vendor or customer or company code, etc. So this component is equivalent to this syntax. This component is equivalent to this syntax. You no need to write this syntax. Just use this component. Even similarly, graphics is also same. This graphics component is equivalent to this syntax. So your SAP script, sorry, SMARTFORM has made your job very easy. You no need to go with any like coding or some syntax you need to recall. Right? Next. See, during the SAP script, it was not feasible for you to loop the data. So of course that loop we have written in the print program and we have taken the data to SAP script. But here SAP has provided the proper looping. You can loop the data within the SMARTFORM also. And before that, we do have the table option. I told you that already earlier. SAP script is letting something like a generating the report in traditional way. And the SMARTFORM is something like a generating the output in ALV format. Means here we do have the proper table format. Your data will be printed in the format of rows and the column. So it will be used to display the results or data in the form of rows and the column. And whenever we create the table, three component will be created automatically. Those are header, main area, and the footer. These are the component of table. So header will be used to maintain the column heading. It will be used maintain column heading. So this will be used to maintain the metadata, or I can say raw data. And this will be used for total and subtotal. Now, for example, now this is your table. Let's assume you want to maintain some data, right? So whenever we say the table, so table will be having the proper rows and the column. During the SAP script, was it possible for you to generate the table? No, we did manage ourselves by adding the U line, V line, something. But here you get the proper rows and the column. So of course, this will be used to maintain the column heading, right? And under that, you will be having the data. And here you are going to maintain the total and the subtotal. So if you want to maintain the heading, then you need to go with the header part. If you want to display the data, you need to go with the main area part, that you need to maintain the main area. And if you want to maintain the total subtotal, you need to go with the footer part. Next comes with template. Template. So table and template both are same. Table and template both are same. Nothing but both will be used to maintain the data in row and the column format. Both will be used to maintain the data in row and column. Then what's the difference? See, now suppose you do have you having the internal table, in that you do have 5 row. Then the table will be having the 5 row. Suppose in the internal table you receive the 10 row, automatically the table will be expandable. If you receive the 25 row, automatically that internal table will be, so that table will be having the 25 row. But template is not like that. If you say it will be having this much of rows and column, it will be remain same. So here I can say table can be expandable based on the number of row. Number of row in internal table. Whereas template will be having fixed number of rows and column. Fixed number of rows and the column. Means suppose if I say my template will be having 2 row and 3 column, it will be remain same. It will be not any further row here. It will be fixed. But your internal table, like this table, will be expandable automatically. Suppose if you receive 10 row, automatically 10 row will be added. If you receive 20 row, it will be automatically added the 20 row. It will be expandable based on your number of data in the internal table. But here it will be remains fixed. If I say 2 row, 3 column, it will be remains 3 row, 2 column. Sorry, 2 rows, 3 column. It will not be changed. Now next. So normally, if you look at the SAP script, there in the print program itself, we are looping and we are bringing the data to SAP script. So here you no need to do something. Here you do have the looping option. You do have the component called loop. It will be used to loop the internal table data into work area if required. Similarly, we do have the component called alternative. Suppose if I want to write any conditional statement like if, then do this, else if, then do this, else if, then do this. That comes under the alternative. So this will be used to conditional statement. Now suppose there is a requirement. Based on the country, you need to write the different logic. If the country is India, I want to print the different text, and if the country is USA, I want to print the different text. In the SAP script, we don't have the option. Every logic you need to be managed within the print program only. But here within the SMARTFORM, you do have that option. You can maintain that condition by using the alternative. If the country is India, do this, nothing but print this text. Else if, you can do this alternative. I told you that within the SMARTFORM, you do have the options to write the source code. That is a part of program lines. Now, suppose I want to write something to achieve logically, then you can go with the program lines. It will be used to write the source code to achieve dynamic. Something like, in the SAP script, we have removed the leading zeros, we have used the condense something. That was the option. That options was not there in the SAP script. So everything we manage in the print program only. But you no need to do over there. You can handle something in the SMARTFORM level also. Then in the SAP script, suppose if I were having more than one page, and if you want to call that more than one page, what we have used? Start form and the end form. But here we do have the concept called command. It will be used to call the next page. Next page in sequence. Now, if I go with the SAP script, in the SAP script, we do have total 5 function model. Open, write, close, start, and the end. If it is only one page, then open, write, and the close in F. So if you do have more than one page, you need to be call open, write, close, plus start and the end. So, but here you can use that command. Then go with the folder. Folder, it is a collection of text. Now, for example, if you look at over here, now this is a template you have created, and you do have the 2 row, 3 column, nothing but you do have total 6 cell. So what you need to do, for each cell, you need to maintain the text. Text 1, text 2, text 3, text 4, and the text 5. Similarly, for the table also, it will be same. Now, there are total 6 text for the same template, right? The template is same, and for that, you do have the 6 text. Now, this 6 text you can wrap in a folder. That is a part of folder option. Now, if I go to the SMARTFORM, and if you want to see those components, can you see? Right click on this, create, Windows, graphics, and the address. These are the 3 components. And here, now if I want to give the 4th difference between the SAP script and the SMARTFORM. In SAP script, there will be only 99 pages. In SAP script, you will be having only 99. You cannot create the 100th page. But in the SMARTFORM, there is no any restriction. You can create any number of any number of page. Next one. In the SAP script, Main window is compulsory. Without main window, your script will not be activated. But here in the SMARTFORM, main window is optional. Without main window also, you can achieve your job. The way by default system will create the page for you in the name of percentage page one. Even similarly, system will create the main window for you in the name of percentage main. If you want, you can rename. Otherwise, you can remove because main window is not so compulsory. You can create any number of pages. You can create any number of windows. So this is a fourth difference between the script and the SMARTFORM. So if I expand this page, you can find the main window. Now right click on this. You can see window, graphics, address, text, table, template, folder. In the flow logic, you do have alternative, loop, program lines, and the command. This is what your SMARTFORM is.